Okay, Shyne, it's easy.
Listen, but when we talk about being fortunate, you got to understand. Russell Simmons wrote an op-ed the other day, and he talked about, he was talking about my good friend, the big giant Hova, Sean Carter, and he was addressing the whole Occupy Wall Street, and he said something that struck me, which was the prison system, and how there's a prison industry worth a couple $1 billion, and what they do is they criminalize African and Latin American men and youth. So what happens is you go to jail for nothing, for maybe something, not that serious, and they institutionalize you and criminalize you, so you become a better criminal.
Right.
When you went in, a dude that could have got a degree, could have did something, contributed to society, but instead they criminalize you. They put you back out in the streets. Now a felon can't drive the bus. A felon can't even be a garbage man. Right. So now you back in the streets. What you going to do? You going to eat. So you going to eat however you know how to eat, and so you go right back to prison. And and the industry booms. You dig? So rather than when you go to prison, they educate you, they rehabilitate you, and redeem you, and give you an opportunity to return to society as a contributing member. They don't do that. So I thank God that I was fortunate, because usually when you get out, you get deported. You dig? Your life is over.
Right.
You understand? Like what was I going to do in Belize? You understand? In Central America, a place that I haven't been in quite some time, and it's a struggling economy. You dig? What? I'm gonna go over to Mexico and get with them boys, and be a D boy like these kids be rapping about.
Right, and get it how right.
That's the only option they gave me.
Right.
Like it's amazing. Like, thank God that I was able to make the deals that I made and come off with some scratch, so I can maintain. If not, it'd have been back to the block.
Right.
This is what they do.
Let me ask you a question, Shyne. Going through what you went through, and doing that 10 years for we not really gonna go into, what it was about, but we know, it had something to do with Diddy and then that whole night and the way it went down in the shooting. But you did 10 years for that. So if you could tell the youth anything, do you regret what you did? What would you change, or what do you want them to know?
I mean, listen, I wasn't thugging and bugging that night.
Right.
You dig? I was actually the best behaved, because I don't drink and I don't smoke.
Right.
You dig? But I'm from the streets, so when it's time for my hammer to go off, it goes off. And somebody was getting ready to pop old boy head off. Like, it might not have been no Jennifer Lopez movies and none of that. You understand? If I didn't pull my ratchet and squeeze off.
So you say somebody's like that night? That was the perspective you took on it.
I saved all of our lives. Okay. You understand? Because them kids from Brooklyn don't play.
Right.
And the funny thing is, those is my little soldiers. Like, I know them kids. I sent them to go do work. So I know what time it is. So I know when, these dudes is drunk talking and they arguing, they talking that rap talk.
Yeah, but these dudes were serious, right?
Yeah, them kids ain't playing no rap talk. You understand?
Right. So what?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's done. You took it on the chin like you should. You did it and you held your head, and Diddy didn't really hold you down like you expected him to. Am I right?
I mean, but that was from the start of the whole thing while we was on trial. People don't understand that my problem with him was never, I squeezed off. That's my responsibility.
Yes.
No way, no how do I ever say, what he did or he didn't do. I ain't see him do nothing. As far as I know, he ain't do nothing. He ain't had no ratchet, nothing.
Right.
That's not my responsibility. You
right.
I'm talking about? My responsibility is what I did.
Right.
But you can't be my man and you we in a situation together, and you gonna call a witness to testify against me so you could get out the situation?
Wow.
Hey, Shyne.
And I'm consistent with it. This ain't no Twitter rant.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't you know what I mean? 13 years later, I'm talking. Go back to my XXL interview I did in 2000 when I was on the cover. That's before this honor. I'm saying the same thing now that I was saying then. Go to the MTV interview, the hour special. I'm saying I'm consistent with it. He called a witness by the name of Sharice Myers. I looked that man in the eye and I said, yo, blood, don't call that chick, man. She gonna finish me. You understand? It's one thing when the DA is saying that, yo, you know, he's a wild boy, but it's my co-defendant call a witness that's gonna say that I'm finished. And she was lying. It's one thing she got up on there and said, listen, man, even the victims said that the kids from Brooklyn was beefing with us and they was threatening us. They was telling us they gonna kill us. And 2 of them kids is dead, by the way. So, you know, they can't get in trouble.
And we got former Bad Boy artist Shyne on the BJ Murphy Morning Show, and he's telling a little bit about what happened in the background and why he served those 10 years in prison. I think what BZ was also leading to was, you know, the no snitch rule or brothers serving time for people.
Listen, it's not about that. I don't romanticize this culture. It ain't, you know, listen, if you a hard-working man, you go to your radio show, and you paying your bills and you taking care of your kids. If somebody robbed you or somebody breaking your house, you got to do what you got to do.
No doubt.
I don't hear you on the radio talking about gang life and thug life and you thugging and bugging. You ain't talking about you about that life and you from the streets.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with you doing what a civilian do. But if you claim to be gang life and you thugging and bugging and you a deep boy and you this and you that,
right?
You know, you can't rap about that and not live that.
Right.
For me, unfortunately, that's how I grew up. You know, my role models were Jimmy Henchman and Shyne and the biggest notorious drug kingpins Brooklyn ever seen.
Yeah.
Like those are the people that raised me. So I was doing things I wasn't supposed to do. So you understand? A snitch is somebody that when they get caught, they tell what everybody else is doing, so they could get out of what they did.
Hey, Shyne, so now that that's all over, right? And Shyne is out, and I know you got a new album coming out, right?
Yeah, well, right now we setting up for March 16th, which is the day I got convicted.
Cool.
When I'm gonna go. That's when I'm gonna go retail. But I'm putting out a free album September 26th, Gangland. You know, just to celebrate my 12th anniversary when my first album came out, when Shyne first came out. Then November 8th, I'm gonna put out another album for my birthday. So, you know, celebrating with the fans the only way I know how, is to spread love.
Is there gonna be now? I know you was on Lil Wayne. You was on the track with Lil Wayne on this album, right?
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that last night. When I first got out of prison, I lost my voice. Mm-hmm. You did, because after 10 years in prison, you know, I was a real mobster. I didn't talk. I just did what I had to do.
Right.
I made sure somebody did what I said to do.
Right.
So it ain't too much talking. You understand?
What the reason why I'm asking?
But listen to me. When I got out, I lost my voice. And when I got in the studio, you know, my voice was shot. So I just want to thank Lil Wayne for, you know, he had so much respect for me, and he had, you understand, so much appreciation for my legacy. He still put me on this album. Right. And that's G'd up. You know, that was just a testament to how much, you know, them dudes over there respect me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was one of my question. Really, I wanted to kind of bring it back. You know, with all the education and knowledge you bring to the table and to the game now, are these younger artists, you know, hearing what Shyne has to say, and are they taking heed? Are you able to kind of like bring them to ground level to show them, hey, look, I've been there on the top. It went wrong for me, and this is what you do not to get there.
Well, you know, it lead by example. You understand? People talking about, you know, Shyne in Jerusalem or Shyne in Israel. Well, I'm supposed to be. I just survived 10 years in prison. I'm supposed to be thanking God for all my blessings. You understand what I'm talking about? And, you know, I lead by example. You know, I'm a man. You know, I be talking, you know, about trying to get married, trying to raise a family. You understand? That's where I'm at with it. So I ain't too much about lecturing and preaching. I just lead by example. When you listen to my songs, you're going to hear a contrite, remorseful, you know, farmer mobster. You understand? I'm not doing no, you know, TK Kirkland. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the pastor. I'm not Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton is Al Sharpton, but at the same time, I talk about it from a perspective of someone who really lived it. And if you listen to Pop, or you listen to any of the dudes that really went through what we went through, like Scarface, any of them dudes, they talk about it with more contrition and more remorse than these, you know, CB4 dudes that just be romanticizing something that, you know, it's like 500 bodies in a month in South Side of Chicago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You understand? So Yeah.
And what I want to say to you, Shyne, we got former bad boy artist Shyne on the BJ Murphy Morning Show. We had a 15-year-old that was gunned down in front of his house. 5 young teenagers were responsible. They shot the brother in the head on a Sunday afternoon. And what would you say to the youth who romanticize about the thug life and what these brothers is rapping about, and how people are living it?
Listen, they're lucky I'm on parole. You understand? Because I'm from the Black. I'm from the Black Panther. I'm from the Black Panther era. Huey P. and Bobby Seale used to run down on them pimps in them bushes.
Right. With
the shotgun, with the ooh-wop, all that. Listen, you're gonna get off this block, serving that, or we gonna put something in your head. You understand? So I be running down on all these dudes because they all front.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? But it's dangerous because the machines, the major machines have made their fronting so popular. You understand? And so believable.
Right.
You understand that these kids, they see themselves in these videos and on these songs, and so they thinking, well, this guy don't get caught. He making millions of dollars off of talking about what I really do, so I guess it's okay until he's sitting in the pen for 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, listen, I can't tell the next man what to sing about, but if you gonna sing about that and it's hundreds and hundreds of bodies a week, you got to do something for them kids. You got to set up some type of program, some type of after school, some type of college, you understand, tuition. You have to do something to help these kids that are listening to your music. The difference between the African and Latin American kids and the Caucasian kids is they have money.
Exactly.
You understand? So they have resources that educates them, right? And conditions them to understand the difference between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone killing 1 million people and what they should do in real life.
Right.
You understand? And they still go crazy like they did in Colorado and all these other places.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm talking about? But all I'm saying is these dudes be talking about how they balling and how they making all this money. And, I be listening to the raps. And when you get so much money and these kids is dying, give them some type of opportunity.
I know that's right.
You understand? I don't buy none of that music. I don't listen to them dudes because they corny. Like, it's one thing if they was talking about this life, and I see them in the south side of Chicago, you understand, trying to get them kids jobs, trying to make sure, listen, little homie, put that gun down, go to school, I got you. If you really balling, you could afford to take a couple mil and make sure these kids go to school. Ain't nobody doing that.
I know that's right.
So none of the major black artists and record owners and all record label owners and all these cats are really putting back.
I don't see it. Well, we're in the cyber world.
Right.
They show you buying a new Bugatti. They show you the new Phantoms and Mozarts that they just buy. Don't nobody ever be showing during the high schools giving away 100 scholarships to Harvard.
Right. That's a huge disgrace and dishonor to the black community because that's the point of you making it to reach back.
Yeah, you understand? But listen, again, I want to lead by example. So y'all just pray for me that I get right and I'm able, get a little bit of scratch.
Definitely.
And I'm gonna show them how to do it.
Go ahead.
Philanthropy is the new ball. You understand? If you really getting it like that, if you flying private planes, if your vacation costs $1 million for the boat for the week, then you're supposed to match what you spending on yourself and what you're doing for these communities.
I like that.
Indeed,
that's right.
Indeed.
Hey, Shyne, man, we really appreciate your mind, brother, and your heart, what you're sharing with people, because this is something we've been talking about. It's good to hear a high-profile artist like yourself talk like this, because what's going on in hip-hop now is garbage, and somebody's going to pay, brother, and somebody's going to pay, and nobody's really saying it.
It's only a matter of time for one of them young headbangers catch these dudes. You understand? Because, if you ain't taking care of the people gonna take care of you. You understand what I'm talking about? And I don't even understand it. I don't understand how they buy these kids records. I don't understand how they support a culture that doesn't support them. You understand? Nothing, zero. Like, these dudes is on the Forbes list, $500 million. You understand? What do they do for these young kids that are killing each other? It's a crisis. Like, it ain't enough to say, I'm Barack Obama. Like, what is that doing for the kids in the ghetto? And it ain't just him, it's all of them. What are you doing? Like, if you balling, champ, if you getting it like that, who you sending to school?
Right.
That's right.
Shyne, brother. God bless you, brother. Hey, we got to run, Shyne. We love you, man.
Thank you, Shyne.
Hey, thank you for calling, Shyne. We appreciate you, bro.
All right.
We got to have a part 2, Shyne. We got to have a part 2 on this.
All right, man. Just listen. September 26th is my 12th anniversary, so make sure y'all celebrate that. All right?
We got you.
All
right. That's Shyne, y'all, former Bad Boy artist. I love what Shyne had to say. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's about time we had a black hip-hop artist to tell the truth about what's happening to our young black youth, because I am telling you, we are going to pay a tremendous price for our neglect and how we use our influence on the radio and music and television. Black people, God is going to whip the hell out of us.
That's right.
For not doing right by our children. I'm telling you, man.
All artists in need of hot beats, hit up dolobeats.com. We got them bangers. Producers who need them high quality sounds, get your professional sound kit with over 11,000 sounds at dolobeats.com.